First of all, 10 seconds ago, you were scared to death. Oh, it's not listed anymore. So you're laying in bed spinning like a spit, like a pig on a spit at a barbecue. Oh, I'm gonna lose the laundromat. And Gary answers the phone and doesn't even know what day it is. My mentor in this business talked to me about failure because he wasn't a salesperson. He didn't want to sell me a laundromat. He didn't want to sell me equipment. This is 20 years later, and I find that his discussions about failing are what I really want to bring to the table to folks like you. Whatever the job, whatever the situation, whatever you are doing day to day, there's so much desperation when people tell me, I just want to get a laundromat. Dude,
calm the bitch down.
There are people that buy laundromats every single day. They scrape together every penny they can just to make a down payment on rented space. They walk in there, it stinks. The equipment is all old. The walls are either pink or blue for whatever reason, and they buy that place. And then the veneer starts to crack. Today's update, please negotiate the best lease rate of rent you can, and let's put an LOI in his hands. You're desperate to get a laundromat. I'm here to tell you to calm down and realize that if this never happens for you and you never get a laundromat, you're better off than being destroyed by $3 per square foot. Do you know what it's like to own a small business and lose every month? So plead your best case. Tell me why you wrote this note.
It's a fully functional laundromat. It doesn't need to be retooled. I know the MO and how we operate and what we're looking for and what we're doing. But every now and then you see something a little different where this doesn't need to be retooled. I can move in, get it functioning, open up the doors in 30 days.
Rather than do what I normally do, you want me to call this guy up and just lay down because you want the lease no matter what.
Shut your mouth and let me do my thing.
Whoever gets this could flip it. You know, like someone would pay $150,000.
If Gary is smart, he's going to have a clause in the lease that says if you sell the business, that there will be key fees or lease allocation fees. Let's call him up. Gary.
Hello. Yeah.
Danny, the laundry guy. We're wondering if we're going to give you a letter of intent and get a lease done here.
Well, it's up to you if you're going to give me a letter of intent.
What I would like to do is at least get close on this call so that, you know, the LOI is just a piece of paper. It's a single page. It's not a big deal, but you're the decision maker. So if we can get close on the telephone.
Actually, I'm not.
Okay.
I have partners, so I'm not the decision maker.
Okay. And I believe that's where we left it last time. You've got partners.
Yeah, I think you were going to talk to your partner or something, and you were going to call me back is where we left off.
Sure. Well, I know what I want to pay, and it is as little as possible. And what you want to collect is as much as you can. We went through that. What offer is going to be accepted, or at least how can I get close? I'm in no rush to do this.
Yeah, we're basically at $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month plus taxes.
Okay. $6,000 a month, triple net. So I need 15 years, and on a 15-year term, if I start at $5,000 plus taxes, plus CAMs, plus triple nets, am I going to be ignored? Because we can have 3% increases yearly.
Put it on paper and, let me talk to the partners.
Okay. Again, the only reason I'm calling you is because I want to understand. I normally ask for 12 months of rent abatement. What type of abatement do you offer on a 15 or even a 20-year lease?
We got a turnkey operation over there. We're not really offering any abatement.
All right, well, but we're going to retool it. So 0 abatement.
Yep. If you're going to put in all new equipment and it's going to stay when you leave, maybe we could talk about, working something out.
No, we are. That'll be in the LOI. I have your email. Give us a day. We'll send you a letter of intent. Anything untoward in there, anything that doesn't make sense to you, call me direct. This is my cell. The dude sounds like he's asleep. First of all, 10 seconds ago, you were scared to death. Oh, it's not listed anymore.
Yeah, I thought I lost it.
They leased it. I lost the deal. So you're laying in bed spinning like a spit, like a pig on a spit at a barbecue. Oh, I'm going to lose the laundromat. And Gary answers the phone and doesn't even know what day it is. Now's your chance to talk. So you just want to flip it. You just want to sell it. You want to find somebody that doesn't know who Danny D'Angelo is, doesn't understand that free laundromats are to be had all over the place, including Queens, New York. The guy that you hired to negotiate the lease, I should be in a hurry to get this done, get you off my plate, right? That's what I should do. But I'm not, because I don't want to see you get destroyed. Whatever you put in the letter of intent, whether it's $5,000 or $6,000, we will send it completely and 100% up to you. You have to live with that. All right, make the LOI, send it to me.
Another turn off.
Goodbye. Deep breaths. Is there a pill I can take where I shut off my emotion? I don't know. Maybe there is. I built my stores and my empire of laundromats by going into this well over 20 years ago, blind, deaf, and dumb. I had done well in other businesses. I was this captain of industry. I had made tons of money in real estate. And when it came to the coin laundry business, I didn't know. There was no YouTube of laundries. So I bought that store for $250,000, and I walked in, and like I talked to Santo about, the veneer started to crack. That used car that your great uncle drove that you always loved, 40 years ago, it was brand new off the assembly line, and that's why you loved it. Now you go out and find one, you make an offer, and you buy it, your dream car. The minute you put it in your driveway, you start to notice the oil leaks, the chipped paint, the engine numbers don't match, the veneer begins to crack. And I don't want to see my clients in that position. I certainly don't want to see you in that position. I'm no saint. I charge for what I do. And more recently, people are scooping up my course. They're understanding it's very, very inexpensive. I'm not going to say cheap because it's flawless. The last time we added to the course was last week. People grab that for a few dollars, and that's all it is. And they look at it, and they watch the course content and videos. They comment in the comment sections. They can't believe that I'm writing them back. My phone bing bongs, and oh, there's a comment. Allow me to comment within the course. There are fun quizzes in there, and those people's heads are full of the knowledge they know to go out in their town or city, state or country, and get this done. Let's get to your comments. Hey, Danny, I'm currently in high school, looking for ways to slowly start building wealth. Any advice? You're already doing it. I applaud you. But I want you to think of this, high school kid, not a side hustle. Whatever you do needs to be a serious, long-term endeavor. Don't listen to the horse shit and the side hustle. You're doing it now. The #1 algorithm trending on YouTube right now is side hustle, small business. You know why? Because I'm afraid high school kids don't want to work. You're going to have to work to do it right. Own the company. There's the 3 words I want you to take with you. I don't give a shit if you have a bunch of jobs and careers like I did, 6 years in the Navy. Learn everything you can. I'm never going to have my own Navy, but every job I ever had, I culled and gathered information, and I thought, I'm smarter than this guy I'm working for. How do I change it? How do you negotiate to not put a deposit for the space? Meaning they will always say, since the beginning of the dinosaur, everyone has put in a deposit. I don't say that now in the early phases, in the early stages. I don't say that in the inception. You would be ignored. Hey, Gary, we're not only going to pay you less than what is market rates of rent, but we're also not going to give you a deposit. No, you don't say that. This is part of my history, my learning process, my genius, if you will. Once Gary says yes to the letter of intent, we will say draft a lease. Once Gary drafts the lease will come over and it will have X deposit. 3 months rent, it might be $12,000. That's when you call. Why? Because of the psychology. Because Gary and his partners have already decided that he's going to move forward with our group. They've flipped that switch. They've said yes to all of the other conditions. That's when we drop the hammer and say, we're not going to pay a deposit. You know what they always say? No one that we've ever dealt with, no tenant has gotten away without it. Okay, well, today's the day. First time for everything. How common is TI and what a common amount you're able to secure? Brian, we get tenant improvement money every single time. Did anyone on this call know that rent abatement is real, that you get free rent? You do. You don't have to be Walmart to get free rent. TI is tenant improvement money. The last deal that I walked away from personally for my group, $78,000 check. Because landlords are like insurance companies. How can you buy a brand new car, drive it off the lot, smack into a cement truck, thank God you're okay, all 57 airbags deployed, you walk back to the dealership, hey, Here's my Allstate card. Car was fully insured, had to be. The dealership doesn't own it. The manufacturer doesn't own it. You don't own it. The bank does. So you got your Allstate insurance. They give you the keys to a new car. You drive off the lot. How do they do that? If that happened to everyone, the insurance company would fail. They do that because of all the little old ladies paying their premium every month who never get an offender bender. That's the way landlords are. I found a great location for a laundromat, and I'm trying to convince the landlord to build to suit. Any advice? Don't do it. If you live in a small, tiny little town and there's no laundromat, don't build a laundromat. Drive to the nearest city and do what we do. Do you really think, Daniel, that landlord is going to give you the build-out cost and not recoup it? Your rent is going to go from $1 a square foot after they do the plumbing, gas, water, electric, the drain troughs, the $150,000 tap fees, TAP. The EPA wants their cut. Environmental impact fees will crush you. So you think that landlord's going to give you $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 to build the place and not get it back? Your rent is going to skyrocket. That's the way it works. I'm being condescending, but be realistic. There is no free lunch. There are free laundromats because that store has been built decades ago. That's the stores that we're calling on. The initial stupid son of a bitch that built the place probably never earned a dime. They had distributors come in and sold them the equipment for double the value. That's their problem. I don't take old ladies and throw them out the front plate glass window in their existing laundromat. I don't do that. The preponderance of the stores we take over through this non-hostile process are operating, guys. They're not closed, they're operating. But what you don't know is that the operator, the leaseor, has already failed. And the minute you walk in and smell the place, you know that.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.